Hey guys, welcome back to DMAC Customs on the YouTube. Dave here in the garage, Area 51 with wipers and no windscreen. So last video, got the wiper motor installed and working and parking and all of that stuff where it needed to be. This go around I want to install the vintage air heater system that I have for this car. Again, there's a previous video on how it was all mounted and all that sort of stuff. This one's just going to be about hopefully bolting it all in and just hooking it all up kind of as it should be. So let's get into it. There it is. Oh, it's been a little while. She's a bit dusty. Come on. Okay, so let's take this over the bench and we'll unpack it and have a look and see what I have done and got and fabricated and stuff. Still got bits left over from the previous video. But yeah, how does this box open? There she be. Instructions. My vents, ducts, these are my heater hoses. They need a good decent trim. They're the other vents, but I'm using the factory metal ones. The thingamabobs, but I'm not using that, I don't think. Got some hose clamps. Why have I got so many hose clamps? But it's alright, we need those. Got us one of those, and don't need that. I was going to mount things under the dash things, but got one of those, and got one of those. The other vent, and, don't need that again. There's hoses and grommets and stuff. All sorts of crap in here. Don't know what everything is now, but is that hooked up? Yes, it is. So this is the main unit, which is basically just a little radiator core and a blower. So the way I'm going to be running this is, I can't remember. I think the hoses come off the front there and just go. Basically works straight as a demist is what I'm kind of using it for, so it'll be hitting at the screen rather than, you know, into the floor and footwell and stuff like that. And then we have our switch assembly and whatnot. Can't remember what everything is for now either, but yeah, so that's all got to get put in. There's a little thing there with oils and shit in it. So let's start putting this thing in, chicken wing. I've got this aluminium plate here that well, it's actually a bit of channel that I made that mounts up behind the dash, but I got it a bit scratched in the install process, so I'm not sure what I want to do with that just yet, whether I want to paint her up or polish it again. Or what, you know, could do a quick polish on it. It would probably look quite good as an addition to some of the chrome and stuff. So that's going to back into the old radio slot down in the bottom of the dash there. So, but anyway, let's pull this out of the box and have a proper look. Okay, so back over at the car, the Area 51. This little unit here just bolts up onto these 4 studs up here. I made these kind of mounting plates and that, and plug welded them into the back of the firewall, so there'll be no, you know, kind of bolts through the firewall. So I think we might start with just basically bolting that up, getting that into place, and then we can look at running the plumbing and then figure out where all the wiring's got to go. There's quite a lot of wiring for a little unit, but anyway, we'll bolt that up. So I haven't got hardware over here. I've got studs kind of welded to the back of this bracket sort of thing, so all I need is nuts and washers for that, and yeah, then we can just mount that up onto there. So I think I need, just make my elbow, 10mm, I think it was 10mm socket or ratchet spanner, and washers, nylocks and stuff. Yeah, so let's get some tools. Alright, have I got that? Oh no, I left it, my little socket set behind. My little handy dandy little wee socket set is actually becoming a very useful little tool set to have, because it's you know, good for this, like assembling small stuff. You're not using big tools to get in there, you know what I'm saying? So I don't need spring washers, if I'm using nylocks. So just get me some flat washers. 3 and 4. Put that out of the way so I don't knock it over. Put that into the little nut and bolt holder, and it's set about putting this thing in. I know it's a bit awkward from memory, but oh, come on. Right, where would this go? There we go. Did that hit the wiper motor? Hope not. Should clear. Okay, so off to a great start. First thing I did was drop the nut and it fell down through there and disappeared into the great blue yonder. Only to discover very shortly afterwards that the hardware I used for this was quarter 20, not 6mm. So yeah, so I had to take it off and fix up the thread that I damaged and start again. So we're back. Just gotta tighten these down. Alright, I've got one more to do, which is really difficult to get to, so I'll just get that done and be back in a minute. Okay, so next up, I've got my vents and my vent tubes that I'll hang, get them up there. I left these attached because these were slightly too big, I think, and it was a real mission to get them on and off. I've marked them left and right. Now these just have, if you look up here, you see these two holes on either side of that opening there. They have a little Phillips screw that comes up from underneath, and these just slot. Hang on, I'll try and show you. So these will just sort of, that screw's already up in place, and then that'll just slot in, and then you just tighten it down like so. So it just goes, then tighten it up. So I'll get these screws started. So I need a Phillips driver of screws, and yeah, and then we'll get these going and hang them, tighten them up. Doesn't feel like it wants to go in properly. Difficult. Oh yeah, here we go. And the other side. And that. Where's my tube? Oh, there it is. And that goes. Okay, so why doesn't it want to go in there? Let's get that one in. So what's happening? Okay, so there we go. Alright, tighten them up. I'm not sure if I've got the right screwdriver for this job. Just like that. Easy. Alrighty, so got both my vents installed up under there, the demister vents. I just got to wrestle with this hose that they supply from Vintage Air. Goes over there. Heater assembly is surprisingly hard to make fit without tearing it up. It's just a little on the large side. Yep. Oh, I think that's it. Chuck a couple of zip ties on there just to lock it in. There's some little knobs on the sticky out bits off the heater box that it kind of slides over the wire, and here slides over it. So I will yeah, chuck a couple of big zip ties onto those, and hopefully they shouldn't really come off. They're pretty sound, but we'll do that anyway. Alrighty, so zip tied up. I've got to, it'd be quite cool if we could tuck that back as far as possible. It'd be quite cool. Over this side, we've got to kind of make sure we clear the pedal assembly, so we may have to devise some way of sort of tying that up eventually. I won't worry about it too much at the moment, because you know, I don't want to kind of have everything kind of tied right up and then go to wire it and then go, oh, this is in the way and I've done all this work that's now no good. But anyway, I digress. What I might do next is have some lunch, and then when I come back from having some lunch is I'll run this plumbing out the front, because there's the electric door thing in one of those that has got wiring and that going to it, and then once that's in, I'll know where all the wiring has to be, and then we can have a look at that. But so far we're getting there. I won't say it has gone like too easy, but went to grab these screws, and if 3 out of 4 were Phillips and 1 was a flathead, so I had to go and find another Phillips that would fit it. Box. Anyway, I'm going to go and have some lunch, and then we'll come back and chuck some of this plumbing and see what happens there. Okay, so had lunch. It was good, thanks. But last night's leftovers on sandwiches filled the belly. While I was thinking about this while I was having lunch, I thought I better dig out the instructions and have a read and make sure I know what I'm doing. I can't find the instructions. I can find the warranty information, but no instructions, so they'll be in another box somewhere. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to kind of fly by the seat of my pants a little bit, but I had written stuff on here, so I've written bottom on that one, flying by the seat of my pants, get it? Yeah. And top on that one and this goes through the firewall. And I probably should have painted that little bracket, but I don't know, I think I'll bother. It'll be alright. That's just supporting that H pipe. I think from memory I put an H pipe in there, so when the water's shut off here, it can circulate back to the block. Apparently LS's like to keep circulating. Maybe. That might be my logic behind that, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'll start with, I might put these grommets in the firewall. I can't remember which way they went. A funny feeling that was to the engine bay side and that side's to the inside. I don't think it really matters, but you might do it that way. You know, that side to the engine bay, and that way the kind of hose can tuck into it and you don't see so much, you know. So I wonder if I should do that from the other side. I'll do that. Yeah, I'm sure these will fit once upon a time. I'll put that one up there. Get that. Yep. Oh, sweet. Did it. Now just got to rinse and repeat. Well, that one went in heaps easier. Just like that. Okay, I couldn't help myself. I just went and painted that little bracket. It had to be done. So what's this? Bottom. I wonder what has to go on first, top or bottom? Probably the top. So I'll just start again. Now these have got little, they look like little nitrile seals on there. That require a little bit of this stuff. There's already some on there, but I'll put a little bit more on for the final install. Pretty sure that that's what this is. So some of that on there, get that out of the way, move that over there, and then we'll put this on. That's the top one, wasn't it? Top. Oh, got a cover on there. I'll take that off. Yeah, so that goes to there, I reckon. Now we'll do the other side, the bottom side. Put some more, I think it's just silicone grease on here, which I actually have some in my own tube, but for since Vintage here kindly supplied it to go in here, then I'll use theirs. What's mine, paid for it. Get that out of the way. Gone. How does this work again? It's got to go like that. So it'll come down like that. Or that's right, they kind of run in parallel to each other. If I remember correctly, it goes something like that, and that one goes something like that. I think so. When the bracket comes back into play, it goes like that. And I wonder if I need to rotate this so that doesn't foul up with my LS harness. It's going to come directly out of this hole. Yeah, so I might tighten these up and might rotate this piece here, the trapdoor, valve door thing. So that's going to go out there. Could it go like that and like that? Something like that, yeah? Yeah, so right, I'll tighten those up and then I'll rotate those things. Should be about right. Oh. Uh-oh. Don't think this is going to want to move now. Is it wire harness is going to come out there? We'll probably go right. I might leave it at where it was, just because it feels like it's going to be too hard to move. But the other one I do kind of have to move it. Oh no, I don't. Yeah, that'll be right. Oh, come on. Okay, so these are my two heater hoses. One of them's got a slightly bigger end on it because that's how the LS pump thing works, so let's go and have a look at that. Ooh, these have been covered up for quite some time. Crikey. I've actually marked arrows on here. I must have worked it all out at some point. So that's the intake and then that's the outtake. I think, if my marking out all that time ago was correct. Yeah, this tape's been on here for a bit. Yeah, it's gone all gooey and gross. Might pay to kind of give that a bit of a clean up with some wax and grease or something, just to make sure it seals all proper like. Find me a clean rag. Should be alright, trust me. Alrighty, so where am I going to put this camera? It's got to go down there, the other way around, like that way, and that way. Oh, scratch. And then tighten them up. I might bring them both round, so ease of access from the top here. Scratch. Oh god, stop it. That's about right, I think. This is routing these. I was kind of thinking like that, rather than up the outside. So, it's tangled up. So they kind of land like that. Hopefully, just got to make sure we're getting around the right way. Probably get some way of tying them together somehow. Hose clamps or zip ties. Not sure which order to go in. Oh, I think they're twisted down here. Hang on. Oh, that's alright. It's already got a zip tie on there. Hang on, just got to cut that off. Okay, so according to my previous planning, I've got to check this out now. So that thing's the intake, so that goes to the outside. So let's have a look at the outside. So that should be going into the heater. Yes, yep, should. Yeah, I know. I knew what I was doing. Yep, it's all good. Don't you panic. Right, we kind of need that bracket back now to, excuse me, to hook up the rest of the plumbing, and then that's the plumbing done. Then we're on to wiring. This is going pretty good so far, so it might be a short video. Either that, or I'll have to find something else to do, maybe some singing or dancing or something. But let's go out here. Oh yeah, dry enough. Doesn't matter too much, it's really, that's what I'll tell myself. Like that. That on there. Need a different socket for that one. Like this. Oh yeah, I even notched it so it can only really go one way. It's clever, eh? Like, you know, some people think I'm a bit dumb, but sometimes I think I'm a bit dumb, but in this instance I think I did alright. Joyce, right, what do we do first? Should I might put the hose clamps and that on and hook this up to the pipe under the dash, and then poke it through, bolt it up, and then we can hook up the stuff from the outside, which will be easier. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to get to these hose clamps if need be, so put one there and one there, and then get my little H pipe. So which is which? So that's into the heater pipe. And that one's am I doing this the right way? So going that way. Get that on there. Like that. It's not as snug as I'd like it, but we'll sort it out. Don't you worry about that. Right, that should be right now. I need a nut and bolt put on there. Okay, so that's that little bracket all bolted in there, and these hoses all kind of attached. It kind of floats around a bit. I don't know whether it should have some kind of bracket supporting it or what, but I don't know. But yeah, I've just got to attach the hoses on the outside now. Alrighty, so going that way. So where do I want these? There, go there. Should really clean off my arrows actually. Don't need them on there anymore, hopefully. Is that going to look dorky, or should I turn them? Maybe turn them actually. How does that look? Well, they'd be better hard up against the firewall. Yeah, they might be. Yeah, might change them around a bit. I'll change that way. Oh, I might chuck a bit of silicone grease on those. Yeah, it's heaps easier. Beauty. They look a bit rude, that one. Yeah, so once I find something, I could possibly find some sort of way to kind of pinch those together, a couple of clamps of some sort, just something tidy. I'm not sure yet. Okay, so got this thing back out. Now I'm gonna give it a bit of a treatment of some sort, probably a polish. There's not much of it's actually visible, so it should be fairly straightforward to kind of give that a bit of a clean up. Clamp it up in the vise for now, and oh look, there's a bit of Scotch-Brite. Might need something a bit more aggressive to get these scratches out, but yeah, we'll go through the process and do some sanding. It's some 150, I think. What have I got here? 240. Yeah, it'll come along, I think. Right, carry on with that, and then I'll give that a polish before we put it all back in, I reckon. Yeah? Okay, I agree. Okay, so gave that a bit of a polish up. It's surprisingly really hot at the moment, so I kind of can't hang on to it for too long. So I just got to let that cool down, and then I can put my switches back in, all that stuff, and figure out what's going on with all this wiring. I'm tempted to kind of tape all this up, get rid of these these cable ties, and tape it into kind of one neater kind of heater harness. They plug in, I don't know how it all attaches up there now, I can't remember, I think it's plugs. But anyway, I'll maybe do that, maybe sort of tie them together, make them a little bit more neater, so it's easier to kind of tie them up and separate them from all the other garbage that's going to go in up there eventually. I think this is my main power that goes to my fuse panel, because there's another, I think that's a fuse, a heater fuse on there. So there's, yeah, oh yeah, that's a what do you call it? That's a automatic, like a circuit breaker. Sorry, yeah, God, feeling a bit thick. I didn't know what the words were, but yeah, that's a circuit breaker. So that's my main power. I got a little earth up there I've got to find a home for, and then I've got to earth off that harness there that I'll have to earth when I mount it up under the dash, and that should be it. I've got to go find some decent looking buttons and stuff yet, because I've got a few other buttons. Obviously that wiper one, we're not leaving that there, that looks gross. The headlight one I think's got one of those generic billet jobbies, and we've also got the push pulls for the vents, but one of them, yeah, the original one's good and the other one's broken unfortunately, so I've got to find something that I can kind of go through and do all the knobs and buttons and stuff all the same and make them look cool, you know, something chrome, or I don't know, even this, something I could paint this color, not these little rubber jobbies that come from vintage gear. They're not really very vintagey looking, they're pretty rinky dink, but on the whole their kit's kind of pretty good. But little things like that, like the control panel was little, yeah, nasty plastic things, you know, so that's why I ended up doing this. If you haven't seen this video, this is why I decided to make this hoary looking aluminium panel that goes up behind the dash, because the vintage air panel was just not good, no bueno. So that seems to be cooling off now. I can put my switches all back on and then mount that up behind the dash, hopefully. Let's do it. Oh, gotta take the bloody dials off before I can put it on. I just spent all that time putting the dials on. Earth on there. Oh, little washer. Get that. Can I use a socket on this? Okay. Switch to this one. Oh, did I just scratch the paint again? God darn jingers. Shiny paint. Okay, I'll just scratch the paint under there with the Allen key. Good on you. Right, so wiring. This wiring here goes up under there, I think. I don't know which way it goes. Does it go that way? Does it go that way? It might go that way. Oh, yeah, just like that. See, I probably should have routed that somewhere a bit more sensible before I plugged it in, eh? Maybe it could come up over the top. Yeah, so that's kind of ugly wire with all these cable ties on here. Just wondering whether I tape it off and get rid of the cable ties, or does that not really matter if I take it up? So, I want that kind of, just, it'll be nice that it just disappeared off up there, eh? Yeah, I wonder if I should tape it up. I don't know, I'll think about it. Oh, crikey, this is like the gunfight at the OK Corral. These things flying around everywhere. Make sure you close your eyes when you do this, because take bloody eye out with that, you know. Might as well take them off up here too. One more, I think. Yes, it does. Right. So that's me main powerage. I've got heaps of excess, which is what I'm trying to tidy up here. I go like that. Is that enough? Right, start taping this one up. What's that? That's coming off my switch. And that's got to go up to that one. I might do that separate. Other tape. Oh yeah, I suppose I could just tie that up like that. I think that's alright. Sits down behind there. My other roll of tape. Thinking I might just bunch that up there. That way I can, it'd be nice to kind of hide it. Well, it's going to be up under the dash anyway, but I was thinking, you know, hide it behind the blower motor. But it doesn't really matter. I'm just wondering whether I bunch it there or bunch it over the other side, because I'm going to end up with a whole heap more wiring behind the driver's side than potentially the passenger side. Yes, maybe I'll bunch it over the passenger side. Tuck it up behind that way, maybe, if I can. We'll see. Thing to do for now anyway, to button up this heater wiring, and that is this little earth. It's got a real small eyelet on there, and I've got to put that vent back on because I had to cut that off so I could run my wiring all up there. But yeah, that's too small to get through there, so I might cut that, possibly even shorten it. Yeah, I can shorten it quite a lot and just tag it onto that mounting tab there. So I'll put a decent sized eyelet on it and earth it off there, I reckon. You reckon? Okay. Actually, will that go in there? Yes. Trim that down. Okay. Yeah. These side cutters might finally be it on their last legs. They've been so good for so long, but they're having trouble cutting these days. Having to use one of these Feng Chao bloody ones. I found a thicker one, eyelet thing, which is slightly better than the other one I showed you earlier. It's hard to fucking tell actually. Oh, hopefully that... Is this heat shrink or is this just some stupid plastic shit? I think it is heat shrink. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so now I need to undo that and bolt that on there. Oh, that stays sticky for a bit. Like that. But alright, I might, should I wrap that as well? Just because that looks horrible now. Nah, it'll be alright. You're not going to be able to see it. Right. Shit. Dun-dun-dun. Lordy. Yeah, that's alright. Okay, so we have jerry-rigged wiring. So I've got it earthed just to that post again and whatnot, and then our main power, which is going to a main switch to the positive. Now I've got the fan disconnected at the moment just so I can hear to see whether this valve is doing anything. So put some power into it and listen. Hear that? Yep, so that's working. Now we'll plug the fan back in. fan in. Oh, she's a grunty plug. And turn the fan on. 1, 2, cool noise. It's directed out here, so that's on my demist setting. When you turn this dial, it goes to the floor, so it cuts it off the demist. It goes all the way to the low setting, which I forgot about earlier, and then go that way to half and half, so half floor, half demist. And off. How about that, eh? It works. So as long as it holds water, that should be the heater done. Other than hooking up to the main circuit, fuse panel, which should be fairly straightforward. Hang on, let's disconnect all of that so I don't make sparks and stuff and fry things. But yeah, so anyway, hopefully you can see this, but we tied off up onto the fan body, sort of looped our wiring back because we had so much excess. I mean, you could have this heater control panel down in your console. There was that much wiring, which wouldn't be a bad idea, but I didn't think of that at the time. But that's it there. The little aluminium panel in there looks okay. It's a little bit streaky, but I do want to kind of get some, like I said earlier, some different knobs for it. Two are push on kind of semicircle things, and one's a held on with a grub screw, which is how I scratched the paint. That's what I need to find, is little rubber stoppers for there. I was ordering stuff the other day somewhere that had them. I forgot. Never mind. I'll keep my eyes open. But yeah, so that's the heater installed. Bit of a mess left over, but it's one more thing ticked off the list of things to do. I had this stuff all over the place. I just sort of flicked it out all over the floor now, and a bunch of cable tie offcuts. And yeah, I quite like that fibre tape. That's kind of, it's quite cool. I think it's better than the vinyl tape. I mean, I thought the vinyl tape was good. It was better than the old school electrical tape, whereas the vinyl tape's kind of got a nicer feel to it. But that kind of fibre tape, I'll have to get some more of that because you go through it quite quickly. So I can't remember where I got that from. You know, I'm trying to put THs into places where the THs don't belong. But yeah, so my fuse panel is going to go up here, so there's plenty of wire for that. I'll leave that hanging for now. And so when we start the main wiring process, which won't be too far away, I don't think, the heater and the wipers are sitting there ready to go. They can go straight to the fuse box now. So even though there's a circuit breaker in there, in that heater system anyway, which is a good fail safe, I guess. So if it heats up, overloads, I guess it'll switch off or something exciting like that. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, it's got pretty grunty fan actually. Like, you know, it's got like blow your ears back and your hair back and stuff. And yeah, another little job ticked off the list. Awkward up under the dash stuff, wiring and okay, GoPro just decided to turn off just for shits and giggles and just to interrupt the train of thought type of thing, you know, bloody thing. What was I saying? Yeah, wiring. Like, I mean, wiring's kind of a little bit intimidating to make sure you get everything in the right place and heaps of grounds and all of that kind of stuff. The worst part about it for me is trying to make it neat. I can make it work and then I run it somewhere and then change my mind and end up with clusters you see under the dash of the truck. It's shocking. Like, as it was neat and then I had to change things and go back into things, and then yeah, but I didn't loom it all up completely under the dash, whereas this time around I might try and do that a little bit more straight from the fuse panel, try and kind of keep it tidy from there, just leave a little bit of each color, you know, a couple of inches or 2 or 3 inches leaving out, so you can kind of make sure that you've, you know, if you're troubleshooting, you can still see it's, you know, headlights or wipers or whatever. But yeah, so another little milestone met. Heater is in and plumbed in. Don't know what I'll do next up. I've got to paint all the insides of the front guards, and I've got to paint and stone guard the fender skirts, and pardon me, and put the rubber on those. So that's more of a kind of a fine day kind of thing. Whereas it was raining this morning, now it's a fine day outside. But yeah, so what else can we do? We can probably start running wiring, or maybe I've got to mount up this tray. This tray here is for the ECU, so that goes up under here somehow. I can't really remember where it goes. I can't remember whether I use the glove box screws or how I'm doing that. I might have to revisit. Oh, sorry, I was pointing the camera at the door. This tray here is for mounting the ECU, and I can't really remember what my plan was for it, so I may, hang on, did I drill holes for that? That goes, oh yeah, maybe that goes up under there, and I've got holes to allow for, oh yeah, holes allowing for the screws for the hinge, and then I must be just going to utilize those holes and put that up there like that. I think that was the plan, and then I'll have to build a glove box inner to go in there, which I think should be all good. So look, this will go, yeah, that's right, so that goes just like that, and the ECU bolts onto that, and then we have a whole spaghetti harness of crap that comes out of the back of there, which we have way too much of as well, and it's going to go out that hole there. If you've been paying attention to previous videos, you'll know that, but if you haven't, if you're new here, if it's your first time here, make sure you subscribe. That's the plan for that stuff. But if you've watched all the videos previously, there's one that talks about that as well, but we'll get back into that in the not too distant future when we're starting to run all the Holley Terminator X Max harness. If you know what I'm saying. Half of you guys are probably listening to my Kiwi accent and going, I have no idea what you're saying, mate. Especially you guys from overseas. A few guys here from New Zealand that following the channel, so that's real cool too as well. But there's a lot of, I think about 50% of my viewership comes from North America, so the United States of America. There's a bunch in Australia, there's a few scattered throughout Europe. I get to see some stuff in the analytics. It just depends on what you guys have like written into your Google profiles, how much information you've actually installed in there as to how much it can tell me. It doesn't tell me details, who you are or where you're from specifically or anything like that. It just gives me a general overview of, you know, male, female, geography, times, stuff like that, which is kind of interesting to kind of glance through once in a while just to see who's been watching, kind of, you know, like where you're from and age group and gender and stuff. But yeah, so that I think is it for another video on the Area 51 project. Actually, that's 2 videos this weekend, so it's kind of getting me a little bit ahead in case I need to have a weekend off or don't get a video done, sort of thing. So I'm generally about 2 weeks ahead. This
you know, sometimes 3. Occasionally, if I'm start getting too many, I'll throw out a midweek video just to get, you know, stuff down and away, you know, so it's not too far ahead, if you know what I'm saying. We still got a few interior things to paint. I've still got to paint all the garnish moldings. I'm thinking of doing like I've always had it in my head that they were going to be this color, but I'm thinking I might break it up and do the garnish moldings in that color, so they'll be like that, and then the door panel from like there down. We have to do the clock, and as I said the other day, the other video or this video, I've got the indicator switch mechanism that all needs to be gone through and cleaned up and painted, which that may look quite cool done in the white as well. Well, it's kind of an off-white, kind of slightly creamy color. There's something else I found. Something else I found just before, earlier today or yesterday or something, that is interior based, that's going to be, you know, to do with one of the colours, the cream or the teal, if you know what I mean. But yeah, anyway, I'm just thinking out loud at this point, but yeah, still got to think of these things, and if I say them out loud, it helps reaffirm that I haven't forgotten them, goldfished them. But yeah, I've still got all the floor sill plates and that to paint as well and stuff. That's it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and also we're on the Instagram and the Facebook under DMAC Customs on both of those, and right here on the YouTube. And as always, thanks heaps for watching and supporting the channel, and any comments and likes and feedback and stuff like that, it's all received. If I don't answer everything, it doesn't matter. It's not that I don't care, it's just that some things don't require an answer. Some do. I try to, but yeah. Yeah, so that's it. As always, till next time, take it easy and peace.